If you want to see how I go from this to that, stay tuned. Okay, you guys, so I've been just wanting to do something different with my hair. I feel like it's flat and dull, and I just want to add some volume to it, just spruce it up a little bit. I don't necessarily, I didn't necessarily want to retwist my hair because my goal for the beginning of the year was that I wasn't going to retwist my hair until April. So, what I ended up doing was I took some old version hair and I turned it into a lock, a clip in lock to be exact. And actually, these extensions are actually tape ins. So I turned tape ins into clip in lock extensions. The color of the tape ins were like a brown color, so I did end up dyeing them. And then, hi baby, my baby just walked in the room. I ended up dyeing them so that they can match my hair. See, you can see it at the top, like of the extension, how the color is like a brown. Yeah. And so the tip of it is still brown, but the body of it is black. So what I did was I just started clipping these in random places. Didn't have much of a strategy going into this, but then I figured what worked best was for me to actually attach the clip in to the underneath my lock, but actually attach it to the lock so that it can be hidden. The clip in can be hidden, as you can see right there. Boom. So that's where we started out with. I just started going in. I think I started out with like 12 to 16 different clip ins, but each clip in had two locks onto it, if you can see right there. Each clip in had two sets of locks on them. So I just went in and started clipping where I wanted to. I wasn't necessarily looking to get length. I just wanted volume. That's what I was looking for, was volume. I did do this on freshly washed hair. Um, I think if you're gonna do this, obviously the best method is to do it when your hair, you have some new growth at the top. Because if your hair is fresh, obviously the clip-in is gonna show. So yeah, I just started going in, clipping them every which way. I ended up clipping majority of them like near the top of my head so that it can just be full. I was thinking if I needed to cut them, but that's the reason why I clip most of them to the top of my head and not necessarily the nape of the back of my neck, because then that would have added length when I was just looking for volume on the sides and on the back. So I'm just gonna stop right here and just keep watching. Um, Again, I didn't have any strategy going into this. I just was like, let's just clip them in and see what happens. Try to see the back of my head with that mirror, and it wasn't really working the best. So this is when the vision of how I want my hair to look actually started coming alive. So I went with I don't know what you call it, just laying the front half of your hair down and pinning it to the sides of your ears. In that way, like they can kind of just like fall over, the locks can kind of just fall over to the front. And yeah, you get the gist. You see what I got going on. So that's when the vision started coming alive, and I was like, okay, period. Now I can kind of start shaping it how I want it to be shaped, and all the things of the things. So as you can see right here, it's starting to shape up a little bit there on the left side. Now what I realized is my natural hair, my locks at the end of them are all has always been combed out and just curled. And so I washed my hair the night before this, and so the next morning it was a little dry, and I didn't like actually go through and comb each one of my locks individually, the bottom of them out. So yeah, I was taking that hit doing it now. So yeah, just added some mousse, some water, and some leave-in conditioner to kind of comb through the ends of my natural locks. And then I was trying to get them to be as uniform with the extension as I could, but you'll see that I go back and I actually ended up finger coiling my natural locks at the end, and then to bring some definition to the locks and bring the whole style together, because it wasn't coming together how I needed it to come together. So if you do end up doing this, this is why you need to go ahead and put that extra oomph into the style by defining the curls in your natural hair, and then also going back and defining the curls in the extension lock as well. Now, when you are pulling on your natural hair, you there's a chance you could pull out the lock too, so the extension lock too. So just be mindful of that, but it's nothing to just clip it right back into place. Bada boom, bada bang. So as you can see, like, defining the ends of the hair definitely was the game changer for this hairstyle. Like, that's what turned this hairstyle up a notch, because it's giving curls, it's giving like afro curl, but it's really afro lock curls. So isn't that just awesome, like having three hairstyles in one? That's a vibe. That's a freaking vibe. And so lately, I know you guys been seeing like all the girlies do the crochets with the curls into their locks. Looks cute, sounds great, but I just don't think for me that I'm gonna end up doing that, because I did put crochet hair into my locks a couple weeks ago and I felt like it thinned out my locks. And so I didn't want to do that hairstyle anymore. That's what brought me to the lock clip ins, because I was gonna initially put in some jumbo braids, like go through, retwist my whole head, and then put the jumbo braids in, like how the girlies do. I've done that once before, but then I was just like, nah, I don't want to do that. So that's what that's how I came up with this, and I'm actually so glad I did, because it's a little bit more. It's gonna be a more permanent hairstyle that I can just do, especially in this 3 months that I plan on not retwisting my hair. So for so while I am in transition in between twist, retwisting my natural locks, I can go ahead and just move forward with the clip-in lock extensions and feel just as good, because sometimes when you're in transition from retwist and you're just like rocking the fro, you don't feel as cute and pretty. And so this definitely help manage that. And so keep on watching, as I keep on just It's really just about defining the curls at the end and then placing the lock extensions where you need them to be. After it's all said and done, I actually feel like I could have used maybe like one or two more, but what the amount of extension that I did add to my hair, it was actually the perfect amount. I didn't need any extra, so I was actually very pleased with how this hairstyle came out. So it's coming together really cute. And so I figured, like, okay, the lock extension, the pattern of the curls at the bottom of the locks, it was more of giving like a braid out kind of curl. And my natural lock was a coil curl. So I had to go back in there and I started defining the curls at the end of the extensions and in the back of my head because the back of my head was looking atrocious as well. But I went back and finger coiled the ends of the extension lock so that it can match the natural coil curls in my natural hair, and that turned this hairstyle up even that much more. And as you can see when I turned, like how it was short in the back, I fix all that once I put like the clip-ins in the back. You see how I did that? You see how much different that curl looks to the other ones? Yes, that helped bring this whole hairstyle together. Going through, so that's all I'm doing right now is just going through, coiling, making sure all of the curls in my head are coil curls and not braid out curls. I was feeling like the back was like flat, so I went back in and had to like just replace some lock extensions. That's all I did, just went back and replaced some. So when you're doing this, you just got to kind of play with the positioning of the locks to make sure everything is kind of uniformed. Everything's not going to be uniform, but to the best of its abilities. So I went ahead and laid my baby hairs down. Oh, and tip, if you put mousse on your hair, on your baby hairs after you lay them down, well, this is how I do mine. This is to get them to stay and not get crunchy, white, or fuzzy during the day. You put water, then you put leave-in conditioner, and then you put the edge control. I actually don't use edge control. I use like a wax, but it's not an edge control wax. It's like a braiding wax, two different waxes. So I do that That's what I'm actually using on my hair to lay it down. I do that, and then I put mousse, and that's what keeps your hair laid down for the whole day. So yes, thought I'd put that little gem in there. And as you can see, it's all coming together. The back of my hair, it was just not feeling right, so I did go back in there, and I went back in there and I redid everything so it can come together. So the last thing I did to bring this whole hairstyle together was I diffused the wet curls. And this is what kind of, like, the curls were long, and when I diffused them, it brought them up and it brought the volume that I was looking for. As you can see, that side, fire, perfect. The other side, it took a little minute for me to get it right and tight to where I want it. But as you can see, like, it's looking really good. It's blending perfectly. You can't see the clip-ins. They're hidden because of the fro from the new growth and putting and placing them underneath the lock. So definitely, period, it came together. I was very pleased with the right side versus the left side, but like I said, everything's not gonna be perfect. Everything's not gonna be perfect. Stop doing that, son. But it came together. You know, my man had to come and check the vibes, check the scene, and cute, cute. Yes, definitely pull that diffuser out, because the diffuser, along with making sure that the curls were defined, and then the diffuser drying him, and then like bringing it up, adding that volume, helped everything come together. And it was the pick me up that I freaking needed. It's exactly what I needed, exactly the hairstyle I needed. Not too much. You see, the curls is not like, it's not a lot. It's very light. I wasn't looking for length, although it did add a slight length, but it's not like a whole bunch, you know? You're gonna fall off the. So anyways, you guys, catch me on my next videos. Put a thumbs up if you like it. If you want me to show you how I actually created the lock extension from a tape-in, let me know, and I can do that for you too. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. See you in my next one. Thank you. Bye.